My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Today, Lord, you give the liturgy this great feast of your foster father, Saint Joseph. What a model, what a father, what a gift. I want to understand how, when I address you, Lord, that I adore you with profound reverence, I want to also have a dear relationship with your foster father, Joseph. How I want to be more devoted to him. In that very prayer we just began with, we addressed you as Father and Lord. And what is that about? Because how am I supposed to understand you as Father and Lord? St. Josemaria understood that, Joseph, you exercised a real authority, a real fatherhood over Jesus and Mary. And through this fatherhood, you were the head of the household. You had genuine authority over the child Jesus and worked with Mary. And the gospel said that Lord was subject to them. Joseph, you the father of that household. And so I want to have this understanding that St. Josemaria had, that he wanted a deep and personal relationship with you, St. Joseph. So I address you as I can address any of the saints in that communion that we have. Help me to have more devotion to you. And I know that if I do have this devotion to you, I'll be led along well. You're a guide for my interior life. I will then adore your foster son, Jesus, with greater devotion. I want to call you then, Father and Lord. Let me see you as a father. Let me see you as the one who I follow as a Lord, as a master. To continue this way very personally, I'll go to the Gospel today. We read from St. Luke. Each year, Jesus' parents went to Jerusalem for the feast of Passover, and when he was 12 years old, they went up according to festival custom. After they had completed its days, as they were returning, the boy Jesus remained behind in Jerusalem, but his parents did not know it. Thinking that he was in the caravan, they journeyed for a day, and looked for him among their relatives and acquaintances. But not finding him, they returned to Jerusalem to look for him. After 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were astounded at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were astonished, and his mother said to him, "Son, why have you done this to us? Your father and I have been looking for you with great anxiety." And he said to them, "Why were you looking for me? Did you not know that I must be in my Father's house?" But they did not understand what he said to them. He went down with them and came to Nazareth and was obedient to them. This is one of the options for today's gospel, but it has the adolescent Jesus in a very interesting situation. The trust that they had, Mary and Joseph, with you, Lord, and your own way of dealing with them to help them understand your messianic mission, and a very personal exchange, conversation. And I, in any stage of my life, particularly when I'm young, want to have a dear and living devotion to Mary, the same with St. Joseph, dear and living devotion, and a clear relationship with Jesus Christ. And so what does it mean then to have a dear and living devotion? It means more than turning to these wonderful persons, alive and desirous of my holiness, that I would deal with them more than a little bit once in a while, but I would deal with them daily. Jesus, I ask for this grace, the grace I need to actually come to awareness of who I am, a child of God, needing help, needing guidance. Isn't this what fathers do? In their love, they watch over, they help, and they guide. And what a thing it was, Joseph, that you were given. What a huge responsibility. The great treasures on earth, Mary, the Mother of God, and Jesus, the incarnate Son of God. And the church has understood that that guidance didn't stop with the end of the gospel period on earth, but continues. That, Joseph, we know that you are the one to whom the church has been entrusted, the universal patron of the church, and the one that we can entrust our interior life to as a guide for all of our spiritual growth. Joseph, you never spoke a single word in the Gospels that we have recorded, but your actions, Joseph, reveal you to be a man of extraordinary virtue. You hidden, yet faithful, unsung. And for us as older and very much so as younger people, this is a very countercultural model. Isn't it true how holiness grows not through spectacular gestures, but through humble fidelity in ordinary life, studying well, keeping commitments, serving others without recognition, and doing the right thing when no one's watching? Joseph, how you can help me, because most of that silent and hidden life that you had in the Holy Family, guiding Mary and Joseph, was in those hidden years where we don't know much about, that silent time where so much was done for us to imitate, this hidden life of sanctity. Joseph, may I ask you daily for help to do that quiet work of holiness. And then you also, though, faced some very extraordinary circumstances. You had courage and trust that the Lord was guiding you, and He did through these dreams and through ordinary grace. You faced the most disoriented circumstances we can imagine. How were you to take the mysterious pregnancy of your wife Mary? How were you to understand the plan of fleeing into Egypt in such uncertain and dangerous circumstances, and how to live there in a foreign land, but how to live each day all of these challenges with prompt and trusting obedience? As a young person especially, the years of formation and study, these have their great challenges, and I do need courage and trust in God's plan. Joseph, intercede for me and help me when I cry out to you in these moments where I'm not sure how things are unfolding, to stay in trust, following the plan of God for me and for those that I help. And I have challenges, Joseph, in my relationships to live them well, with dignity, with purity. Joseph, you lived as the honored and chaste spouse of the Virgin Mary. You, Joseph, modeled a love that is strong, protective, and deeply respectful. And I, especially as a young student, navigating all the friendships and relationships I have to carry out, may I be devoted to you as a steady anchor, one that can encourage my purity, my self-mastery, my genuine reverence for the dignity of others, and my way to begin again when I have not struggled well. Also, I ask you that search for that jewel of my life, my vocation, and your care that will help me live it out once I find it. Joseph, you discerned this vocation, helped with dreams and grace, but you embraced it fully and lived it in radical fidelity. You are this patron, a natural one, of vocational discernment. When I, as a young person, am wrestling with questions of career, of marriage, whether it's priesthood, consecrated life, or simply following this path of sanctity in the middle of the world, help me to find the answers to those questions that come to me. You model living God's plan, even when it's unexpected, and your help is trustworthy. Joseph, yes, help me to find practical ways to live this devotion to you, making it come alive. Help me to pray to you daily, speaking to you conversationally, not just going to you only when I have got some kind of crisis. Help me to go to you before my work. Yes, you were a worker, and I entrust then my intensity, my gift in doing it in a holy manner, and helping me to take care of those people I work with in an apostolic sense. Help me to live out your feast days. We come up to this great feast, yes, March 19th, but also May 1st, where we particularly see you as a worker, very good worker, holy worker. Help me find prayers that way. Help me to read things. There are many things that were accessible about your life and how you served. Help me to make an act of entrustment, whether that's formal or private, that I will live under your protection and your guidance. Help me to look through, as I see in the gospel and understand in the life of Jesus and you and Mary, the virtues that I understand there, and then imitate these virtues that you modeled so well. Joseph, you show us faith lived through quiet, steadfast faithfulness. And for me, whether I'm a young college student or someone older, I want this dear and living devotion to you. And this, ultimately, what will it mean? Letting that faithfulness that you modeled become my own, not merely admiring you from a distance, but walking with you, speaking to you, and, as these things always happen, gradually growing to resemble you. We finish on this feast day going to your Mother Mary. Mary, intercede for us that we may have that love. You had that great love for St. Joseph as your spouse. Help us to have that great love for Joseph as our father of our interior life, of our way on the earth. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help for putting them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, St. Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.